All right. Hello and welcome to episode 50, Gretty. We finally made it to half a century.
Hey!
Yes, well,
Yes.
we're actually surprised we've not only persevered with each of us for this long, but haven't persevered. So I suppose it's a little bit of a celebratory celebration. We'll release this episode on all of the channels. So this will come out on the OCTO'S channel. This has come on Grumpy Gretty's channel and also the podcast channel as well. So make sure you slink across to all three channels and check it out. And you've been a bit busy today, Grumpy Gretty. That's what I've been told. Word on the ocean floor.
Yes, I have. Which is why, I was running a bit late to do our recording because I've been out garage sailing because it only ever happens here once a year, pretty much. Nobody has garage sales here. And then they do a whole town garage sale once a year. So I've been out running around buying stuff.
Nice. And what was the highlight of the garage sale? I know last year that you did your own garage sale, but I'm quite curious.
Yes, I did. Yes. Well, this is the first year since they've been doing it, this is actually the first year I've gone around as a buyer because every other year I've actually had my own garage sale. So, yeah, it was quite interesting. So I'm going to say the highlight for me was probably the book haul I got, which was was one lot of people trying to really actually get rid of all their deceased mother's books. And so I felt like a real reseller. I just walked up and looked at the table and I said, "How much for the lot?" And she went, "Oh, $50. And I went, "Oh," and she went, $20. And I went, "Yep, that's good, thank you."
Well, you're not really a real book reseller unless you put them on Instagram. That's what I'm finding a lot. That all these in one particular in mind, but they put it on Instagram, and for some reason I can't get my head around it. Yeah, they put something on there, so they paid $3 and they're $15 with free postage and all these different things. It just infuriates me to no belief. So
$15 free post? Ooh, no.
Yeah, so all these ones, and like I said, books are the ones that really do my head in. But I'll tell you what, Granny, this is why we can't have nice things. That Minion J, I let him out on day release for once, and he's picking fights in the reselling community. And this is what.
Oh, not again.
Well, that's right. Well, it's not me this time. It's Minion J. Like I said, he was trying to help someone out. So last night, we do have some photographic evidence that I may or may not bring up. So I don't know. I probably will bring it up for our international audience. Minion J was trying to help in his own way, I dare say. And I suppose what happened was that the person didn't particularly like what Minion J had to say about his product and blocked him.
Is it perhaps, perhaps I'm going to suggest Minion J probably was very straightforward in his way of helping and just said it as it is and no fluff.
Well, that's right. Yeah, so you keep talking, and what I'll do is I'll actually bring up the listing on eBay. So I might as well just...
Yeah, just throw it up. I just don't think people don't want to hear what they don't want to hear, and they don't know how to accept help.
No, and that's right. Well, not help from people they don't want to hear help from. And I think we've spoken about this numerous times. We've spoken about this numerous times before, is where people... And I think Minion J has a problem with this, right? So the way that I look at reselling groups on Facebook and all these different things, and I have said previously, I don't go in them anymore because they just infuriate me. They turn this beautiful bright orange head quite red from anger. But I thought, well, I'll let Minion J on day release and he can have a look at all these different things. But what it is, I think where I separate things, I'm very business minded and I want to help people from the business perspective. But I suppose I look at those Facebook groups as such. Like, an idea where you can actually go in there and ask questions or ask clarification. Not so much like a pissing group where you go, "Hey, look at this, look at what I found," and all these different things. That's what Instagram's for. There's a guy in Adelaide that's actually quite on top of that, so he can actually run over on that. But what it really comes down to is that it's an Australian, I suppose the Facebook group is the Australian Resellers, I think, of what it is, or something along that. So this individual put in a Footrot's Flats cup. So this is the cup in question, and I'll get across to there in a second. So he did put this cup in saying how fantastic. Don't usually post my finds. Sometimes I can't believe what people pay for things. Foot rot flat mugs from garage sales. Sold comps speak for themselves. So first rule of Fight Club is they actually put the sold comp screenshot in the in the little Facebook group as well.
I was wondering where that was. Is that in there as well?
Yeah.
Is it?
No, it's not. So I had to actually go looking for myself, and actually, which is Minion J's strike one, I suppose. So what I'll do is I'll actually bring up the sold comps that I actually found.
Yeah, because I know foot rot flats, as far as the books go, do sell reasonably well. So they can have a bit of value.
Yeah, so always look for the later ones. I think from 24, 25, 26, the later ones. And generally, it's the same with a lot of book series that I've found, especially like Goosebumps and all those different things. And I know before I said I won't tell you bolos and all those different things, but when a book or a like a comic strip such as Foot Rot Flats and all these different things comes to the end, their audience is waning, so they're not printing as many copies out there, right? So realistically, maybe the first 10 would just flooded the market because every man and their dog wanted to read it. But then when they got to 25, 26, 27 or whatever, however many volumes it went to, their consumer base must have diminished quite considerably. So they didn't print as many. So that's generally what you need to look out for. So this is, I finally found the screenshot.
I'll even agree with you on that. And that is a general rule of thumb when it does come to books, regardless of what the series are. The later books, there will be less and less books printed, and so now they start to become scarce if they're getting on a bit. Well, the sold comps are pretty good, aren't they? Really?
Well, that's right. So generally speaking, right. So if we go into any of these comps, they're like new, all these different things. So they're almost pristine, right? So this is my little bugbear of the day. So Minion J, in his infinite wisdom, decided to assist this guy and give him a little bit of a help in regards to his coffee cup, and we will bring it up now just to be a complete pain in the ass. And what comes around goes around. So this is the mug in question. So hopefully he is watching, so I can get my take two of my my swipe at him. So what happened was he actually put this down as very good. And if you go down here, it's basically saying, his condition is very good. So last night he did have a change. He must have changed it a little bit in the sense of saying that there was no faults and there was no chips or anything in this thing. What I actually said to him, and we'll get to the comments in a second, is that there's all these little chips. There's paint chips there. Yeah, there's obviously the photography is pretty bad. I'm not going to, if you're selling a $200.
I mean, it's hard to tell whether that red is the glare from the photography or whether that is actually a bit of worn off stuff. But
that's right. I think that's the reflection of the light for the L, but definitely in the other section you can see
there's another little bit of chip paint off there and a bit over that side.
Well, that's right. Yeah. So it's well and truly falls. To me, I'll probably list this as good to acceptable, right? And nowhere near very good. Like there's chips down here and all these different things. So, very, very, very far away from very good
photos do with a bit of improvement too, I must say.
Well, that's right. So basically,
he's
saying, very good condition. So if we go to the next screenshot, ready? She has to control the mouse because she's got it under. Minion J got blocked, and by extension, I got blocked as well. So I can actually take a screenshot of this. So here we go. We're just gonna dig it in. So I pretty much had Minion J right. You might want to have a look at your description and conditions. I can see chips and blemishes all over it. So Forrest flips online. Forrest finds online and did his little laughing react, and a lot of other comments as well. So you've got other people saying, "Yeah, I agree with Minion J. It's not very good condition, not even remotely." Waiting for an INAD with that sort of asking price. And that's exactly right. So this is what it comes down to, right? Is these mugs are being snapped up by collectors. He may have only paid a couple of dollars.
There's all the responses to your comments.
Right. So, so Minion J said, don't you have some ill-tempered fruit to harass? Which might be in reference to another Australian reseller on YouTube, if you can get that connection. But Christian said he'll give the fruit a break over the weekend. But so people obviously, if we can scroll into the next one. So Tory there. So basically the Geelong Flipper putting his 2 cents in with.
I can see something awesome that you found. Well done. Wow, dude, find something cool and all I see is nitpicking. I guess you guys all have the same mug. Oh, you don't. Oh dear.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a swipe at the Geelong Flipper here as well. This is the kind of bullshit, and we can say that now because we're on episode 50. Is that feeds the community, right? Where, like I was saying, is that there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, look, fantastic. Yeah. And this is not the point of what Minion J was saying, right? I wasn't trying to take him down a peg and say all these different things. When you are marketing something as like new or very good condition, I don't particularly care. You look off what eBay's description is, not what your own thoughts are and all these different things. So he pretty much came back to me and said he sold 1,500 things on eBay. He knows better. Well, buddy, don't go check how many things I've sold on eBay because you might be in for a bit of a surprise. But I agree with Sarah because there's actually a lot of low-key resellers on YouTube in this little group that obviously are here as well. So you really, really, really need to take into consideration what people are talking about. Like I said, that Minion J can be blunt, straight to the point, because I don't have time, or he doesn't have time to basically, do all the niceties and say high fives and, holy shit, you've got, a fantastic find there and all these different things. There's a chip in my shoulder. Good luck with the negative feedback. Never heard it. It's a bit spicy there, but like I was saying, is that this is what you need to take into consideration, right? So when you come to these kind of groups, you should be using it as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to learn all these different things. If you can't talk to another person on Facebook with, basically, I could have been a customer and, it could have been me just being, for lack of a better term, a prick, going to his eBay account, buy that cup, open an iNote and leaving negative feedback just to prove a point. But I kind of got over it before then. But
I mean, you've only got to look at, take notice of some of the comments. Like Sarah said, waiting for an iNad case for that sort of asking price, exactly. And then the next person says, you can't deny there are chips to the paint. That's pretty obvious. And
that's right.
That becomes the thing because it's all about you describing it. And it happens with books all the time. I see it with books all the time, but they're not selling for, that sort of value, where people are putting them and saying that they're, worth, hurley amounts of money, huge amounts of money, and that's fine if they want to sell them, try and sell them for that. But then you're asking to get an iNad, which is an item not as described for the boys and girls that don't know. And that's your buyer can put that because you've said it's very good condition, and that's not actually very good condition. People see there's a difference. People often do it with books. They'll say, oh, it's good for its age. And I saw a couple of comments about saying that about that cup. It's good for its age. Well, yeah, it probably is, but it's not very good condition. Being good for its age probably means that it's in maybe good or acceptable condition.
Yeah, so, well, he's actually got it listed as a book for starters. So he's...
What?
Yeah, I just went and sold similar. So what I've done here is I'm actually just going to throw across on the screen. And I want to kind of get to the point of what the basis of this episode is. It's not just, Minion J taking swipes at this guy because he's a knob. But what it comes down to, right? So he's got it down as very good. And this is, I've pretty much just sell similar off his listing. So he's actually got it listed in the book category.
In the book category.
This kind of item I would have done as the coffee cup. That obviously, depending on his buy-in, I would just pay the 6 cents just to add it to the comic category, just as like an extra, put that brand out there a little bit further. So he's got it down as a book that does not look new, but has been read and is in excellent condition. No obvious damage to the cover. We'll call the cover the print or the dust jacket with the dust jacket if included. So what it really comes down to, if he's going off books, a book with obvious wear may have some damage to the cover, but the integrity is still intact. The binding might be slight. Yes. So from the pictures that we've basically looked at, he's looking at acceptable. Like, especially, it's a very poor looking book to me for the first point.
Well, if you think you're buying a book and you buy the coffee mug by mistake, you're not getting what you think you're getting. Yeah, that's weird.
Well, that's exactly right. That's another iNad we never really took into consideration. You're actually not even selling in the proper category. So if you're using the keywords properly, using foot rot flats, you're using Murray Ball, I think was the author, using dog, using, I can't remember the sheep station master's name. All these different, Wallace, I think it was, but you're pretty much using all these different keywords. That should automatically pick up people that have foot rot flats.
Yes, exactly.
As search should automatically come up. You don't need to do all those different things. But like I was saying, he is similar to what I would have done. I would have basically put it in coffee cup or other merchandise, like animation merchandise or something along to that, because it was a movie as well.
Yeah.
But add
Well,
that
I mean,
secondary.
yeah. Yeah. But I mean, there is a section for specifically for coffee cups, and they're that sort of thing. Like they're actually coffee cups, that are got characters on them, or
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure one of the items specific say, movie and character and all these different things. And like I said, that the keywords in the title, all these different things. So this guy, like, he's even lost more of my respect after blocking Minion Jay and Sarah, because how dare you question this one particular person's stance and his point of view, all these different things. And like I said, it's nothing to do with that. It just really, really made me ropeable last night when Minion Jay came in crying that he'd been blocked by this guy on the internet.
And begging Grumpy Granny to go and get the screenshots for him, because now he was
right.
Yes.
Well, that's exactly right. So this is what it comes down to. But I suppose what it comes down to, and what I want to talk a little bit about this episode, is actually customer service.
Oh,
I know
the
locker room boys talked about this in their podcast earlier in the week. I haven't watched it, so if it might overlap, apologies in advance. But what it really comes down to is that me as a reseller, and I won't say I'm the most successful reseller, but I do, a little bit of reselling, probably more than this guy. I treat it in the sense that, like the customers come first, the money will follow. That's my mentality, right?
Yeah.
So basically, you focus on the customer service, you build a reputation. Obviously, if you're not picking fights with imaginary people on Facebook, especially, heaven forbid, your opinion differs to a degree. But what it really does is, you really need to fix an issue in the market, and I suppose that's the way you should be running your business, right? So you might be thrifting, you might be doing garage sales and all these different things. You're fixing the issue in the market, and by the sense of sourcing those things. So you need to look at it from a perspective is that if you were in love with foot flats, or if you're in love with Seeking Master System games, or if you're in love with board games, which I've got here where I've listed as well, how would you like that to arrive? And that's, I think, from my perspective, collectors do really well in reselling because they have that really high, that expectation of what they would want to receive, and obviously there are some exceptions to the rule. That you really, really, really need to focus on that, because once your reputation's gone, you're shot. So,
absolutely, and it doesn't matter what you're selling if you're not actually portraying it as it is. And that's one of the big things that we say over and over. You'll hear every YouTuber that talks about reselling will tell people to show it as it is. And, one of the big key things, even when we were in that group, you remember that group we were in, Octo, for a while, that we got kicked out
I was
of?
watching a video of the guy that fought with us this morning. Big
Because
shout out to Isaiah. Hey, mate, how you going?
Yeah, hi, Isaiah.
Hi, Isaiah.
Not talking to you, Isaiah.
Actually, I enjoyed his video.
No, I wouldn't watch it out of principle. Because one of the big things that they do in there is talk about the photography side of things and how to manipulate, especially if you're using an iPhone. Because if you're using an iPhone and you're photographing clothing in particular, and you haven't got the right background, you are going to get colours that are going to show up differently to what they are in real life. And that's just asking for an INAD. And that's something that they do go into quite a bit. And, they talk about how to manipulate that, which I have done as well. So, boys and girls, if you need to know that, go back and watch some of my videos. I've talked about it numerous times. And, because it's really important to show the item as it is.
That's right. And I think I've said numerous times before is that I actually downgraded a couple of times. Unless it's brand new and factory sealed and there's no blemishes altogether. If it, like, for example, this board game on the left of me here, I've listed that as brand new, and I've outlined that there's some flaws and there's some defects with the box, some box deviation and all these different things. But if for that coffee cup, for example, I would list it in its proper category, and second, I would basically put it as acceptable. Then when someone that receives it, they actually receive a better product that they're actually expecting, opposed to the other way around. And I've said this before about my Skylanders. I will update the photos on a regular basis, and probably Grumpy Granny does the same with her book variation listings. If you get the same character, or you get the same book. If the new book comes in and it's worse, I'll take photos of that one. So basically, people are using that as the benchmark And when they actually have their book or their Skylander arrive, it's fantastic condition. They're like, yeah, look at my feedback. My feedback's my store's in the description of the video. You're more than welcome to have a look across and go. That's what you should be aspiring for. Is that this is fantastic, or don't pick fights with people on Facebook groups just because they hurt your feelings about your photography skills, which was shit.
Yeah, true. But I do want to say, when you are talking to Minion J, honestly, it's time he learned his lesson after this one. I mean, you've been blocked, and as you know, I rarely go in those Facebook groups anymore because over and over again you try to help, but people won't take your advice unless you're praising them up and saying, wow, 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 okay, do this, do that, do this. But if they're asking a question and you try to tell them, that's not how you should do it, you should do it this way, because, that's not correct. They don't want to hear it. And I just found it too frustrating. It was too bad for my blood pressure.
Well, that's right. Well, I'm going to actually get him to come atone for his sins, because I'll yell out to him and get him to come over. Minion J!
Oh, he's going to get Minion J. Well, that'll be fun, won't it?
I don't know about that. Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
He's on the wrong side. Or do we have a hierarchy? I'm not too sure if we have a hierarchy here, because... Yeah, so needless to say...
so when are you going to learn your lesson and not go back into the Facebook groups?
Oh, see, this is the thing. I was trying to, split my day out a little bit more. Obviously doing the Octopus's eBay listing, doing the eBay listings for the resident vampire that we got underground. Decided to take some work-life balance and, slip into the Facebook groups because it just popped up in my feed. Like I said, and I've said numerous times, right? Like, if I write to people or if I say things, it's straight to the point, right? I don't have time for niceties. I'm not I'm not taking, I'm not trying to take, skin off you or anything along to that, or, be a party pooper. But you really, really, really need to take both sides of the agreement. Take both sides of the arguments to say, like the John Clipper, as much as I love him and watch him and all these different things, he's only feeding to that, that mentality and all these different things. And on the flip side, so I actually spoke to Sarah a little bit earlier as well, because she also has a bit of a social media presence as well, and he blocked her and her husband as well because he didn't agree with that groupthink thing. And we've said numerous times, stay away from groupthink. If people are telling you how fantastic you are, you're in the wrong area. You're never going to build your business. You build your business by people telling you what's wrong with it, and that's what that's my motto for the last 20 years in regards to my working life, right? When people go, when it comes to the performance review, you done this wrong. You did this right. You did this right. I don't care. You don't need to feed my ego. You don't need to do all these different things. What have I done wrong? What can I improve?
Tell me in the areas that I can improve.
Well, that's right. Like that's exactly right. I don't particularly care how good I am or how good you think I am. What do I need to focus on? And this is the same thing with eBay and reselling and business and all these different things. Like, find a mentor, find someone that actually will, challenge your ideas. Like with that photo, that photo, and I'm pretty sure that it's gone. I don't have access to it anymore, but it was completely shit.
It was not a good photo. No,
and like I said, that we could have easily had some words. He could have just sent me a message and say, "Hey, look, I don't particularly like the way you're bringing me down," and we could have said, "Hey, look, I'm not bringing you down. I'm trying to improve you as a business runner. Right? I'm a business owner." And I've said numerous times, and the octopus has, beaten it into me as well. I've got all these lacerations up my arms I can't show you, but that you shouldn't be really staying stationary on eBay, right? You should be building yourself, Granny. You're moving into other channels. You're moving into being a recording artist. You're moving into reading and all. You're branching further out to YouTube and all these different things. So further down the line, you're actually building multiple sources of income. I have no problem with people doing eBay, for a side hobby, or just doing things for their own. Hey, I want a little bit of play money, or I want to go to a Japan trip or something like that. But what I find is all the people that I see on Facebook groups and all these different things, they want to be the next Tech and Sports, right? They want to be the next Back from Burnout. They want to be the next Geelong Flipper, Aussie Flipper, all these things. And even that new Aussie, the real Aussie Flipper, I don't know who that guy is, but I'm pretty sure he's the real
Aussie Flipper.
Yeah, so I'm actually quite impressed by that.
Is he the real Aussie Flipper? Well, I heard Yeah, I heard a rumor the other night, Friday night, that he actually might be the real Octo.
No, it could be. Well, that's right. I wouldn't be surprised. Anyone could be at this stage.
Because they're both
But
peachy coloured.
that's right.
Oh, you've frozen. Minion J, you've frozen. So I don't know whether I'm on here talking all on my own or whether I've frozen and... No, he's frozen. No, I haven't frozen. So I did have fun at the garage sales, though, boys and girls, and I bought some sealed DVD sets. What else did I buy? Some old books. How about that? Surprise, surprise. And I did buy some denim articles of clothing. And you might need to remove yourself out of there, Minion J. And, yes, he's actually... You're back.
We're both back. Imagine paying, what do we pay, like $40, $50 a month for StreamYard for a service that doesn't actually even work.
Look, I know. Oh, look, it's just... It's a lot of the law tubers and that, because they're streaming, trying to stream 4, 5, 6 hour long, court trials, and this sort of stuff's happening to them all the time. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm gonna have to edit this video now. It's gonna kill me. But what I'm saying is that, I hold no ill will about, people. I suppose I've got more respect for people that actually know what they want out of their business, opposed to just jumping in the business and being told what they want for their business, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That, and like I said, I did fall into that trap previously where I would jump. Yeah, like I said, I jumped to jeans and I jumped to all these different things, but then I kind of think to myself, well, I don't enjoy photographing jeans. I don't enjoy doing all these different things. So, but now I've gone back to the stuff that I enjoy. I'm getting, it's taking me less time because I know how to list it. I know exactly those niches, so I know what collectors are looking for, and I'm making more profit. And like I said, the Flipwise stuff that I show on a Friday night, like I said, it's really, really, it's one thing that triggers me. So insane.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's one of the joys of what we do as, out there YouTube personalities talking about reselling, that I guess we present the stuff and people can take it or leave it. But when you're posting in the Facebook groups, it's a different thing because they just automatically seem to want to fight with you. So
yeah, and I think we're pretty much low key in the sense because I don't consider myself a YouTube personality in any capacity, right? I just really enjoy coming on here and I don't know.
Oh, I do.
Everyone's got their own opinion, but like I said, if I could have probably worded a little bit softer in the sense of saying, hey, look, I just checked your listing out, done all these different things, but why would I want to expend my energy, doing all those different things? I just thought I'd jump in there, make a quick observation, say, hey, look, maybe you might want to relook at what you've got. It's chipped. Don't market it as being pretty much brand new.
Yeah.
By the looks of it, he has changed the wording around a little bit, which is good. Yeah, and like I said, I don't particularly care. I was a bit frustrated last night after being blocked.
Yeah.
Not that I hold grudges, but
well, I've decided that I have decided that now I am officially a YouTuber reseller, not a reseller YouTuber.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have.
So I think
now that Let's Read Granny channel has sort of taken off, a lot of the videos over there have taken off a bit, you see. So I figure, I mean, I'm not going to get any income from that yet, but it will happen one day. But I just figure, like, doing all these things on YouTube and doing animations and making the octopus dance and dressing him in mobster outfits and all sorts of things. And so I've decided that I am officially, just sort of
an unpaid intern by the sounds of it.
Yes, exactly, something like that.
Yeah, but what it really comes down to is, do whatever you need to do to get to your own goals. Because I would hazard to guess, and please, by all, if you did get past my tirade of me whinging and carrying on, and calling this one particular guy a dickhead because he is a dickhead, right? I'm standing on a hill and I'm not coming down. But even the dogs next door agree with me. But but put it in the comment section below if you've actually got a goal of what you want to do with reselling. It might be a case of paying off debt, or it might be a case of going on a holiday, or an extra $100 a fortnight, or $100 a week, or $100 a month, and all these different things. But what I find personally is that a lot of YouTube people, or a lot of YouTube, especially the newer people in the space, I'm not saying any dirt or anyone, but it almost seems to me, and we did mention this on Friday night as well, is that people do YouTube first, they tack on reselling second. They haven't been reselling for any capacity of time. They don't know how to resell. They don't know what they want out of reselling. But hey, I'm going to create a YouTube channel and start shooting stuff out and go, hey, you need to look for this, or you need to go to the op shops and look for this. Then you look at their 30-day total, their 90-day total, and they've got $2,000, $3,000.
Well, hang on. Things. How many actually show that? Well, I guess they do. They show their total income that they've received from it, but they don't actually show the expenses that are taken out of it.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't particularly care. It's if they market themselves as that, hey, look, this is Grumpy Granny's journey of how to do reselling. And then basically you're going to do the trials and tribulations, whatever it is. But as soon as you move into that mouthpiece and saying, hey, look, Granny, you're disadvantaged, and I'm going to help you. And I'm not Graham, I'm not dragging anyone in. I know who Graham's probably thinking of, but I'm being a generalist. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. But when you turn into a mouthpiece for trying to tell people how to, improve their life or generate extra income, and you're not in a place where you should be doing that per se, you're only making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 over a 90-day period. Or likewise, and flip that around, and I might be talking about someone, Graham, if you weren't listening now. When you say that you do when you say you do $20,000 a month in sales, but you need to put a profit margin. And like I said numerous times in my Flipwise, if you catch on a Friday night the live, I'll actually show you what the Flipwise is. So that's actually when you take the cost of goods out, when you take and I haven't taken tax and GST out, so you do need to take that component out. But everything. So basically the pure profit after everything has come out, except for tax and GST, that's what I'm left at, right? So I'm looking about, I'm hopefully working full time and trying to minimize reselling in the sense that it's more streamlined and I'm getting more out of it, right? So I'm not like I said before, I was working almost probably worse than minimum wage because I was punching 80 hours a week for probably $2,000 profit. Yeah. And but now I'm going to try and move that across to go, hey, look, can I get it to under 5 hours a week and make $1,000 profit a week from that perspective? So that's what I'm going to try and flick it around. I
mean, I definitely would say, per hour wise, I haven't worked out my hourly rate for quite some time, but I dare say, I do put a lot more hours into this than what I would if I went and had a job per se and got paid. But then reselling suits me so well because, I do have back issues and stuff, and some days I wouldn't actually be able to go to work, so I wouldn't earn any money. So, and things take me about a little bit longer just because of that, the mobility stuff. And, if you're having a bad back day or you've been garage sailing all morning and your back's a bit sore.
Yeah, that's right. And going back to our beloved Peachy, the real Aussie reseller, he released a video yesterday. He's quit his job, right? So basically, worst attempt at clickbait ever. So Peachy, if you do need to change your clickbait up. But he made a valid point, right? And this is something that I've said numerous times before, is that if you don't like where you work somewhere that you do like. Reselling should be the really, really, really last resort, right? Because, like I said, we can go into statistics, we can go into bell curves and all these different things. Like I can't be brutally honest as much as that, for example, because a lot of people, and this is my diatribe and my rant, a lot of people jump on YouTube, they watch this, they try and replicate it, then they give Granny or me a phone call or an Instagram message saying,
help.
Yeah, we're fucked. Like pretty much, like there's no better way of putting it.
Yeah,
that's right. And like I said, numerous times before, I don't want people to do that. I'm more than happy to help people out and do all these different things before you get to that stage. But please stop watching YouTubers that pick up a camera when they've sold 2 things on eBay, or probably haven't even sold anything on eBay yet, and start dictating to you through the camera what you should be picking up and what you should be selling, because they haven't. I can't remember what it is, but they haven't earned their stripes yet. I think that's probably the best way you could.
And the other side of that too is Josh, that the ones that are watching American YouTubers, and look, it would be much easier for a reseller over there to actually make reselling a full-time living from reselling, because they've got so many more people to sell to in a short distance. And yes, we can sell internationally, and we do, but we're reliant on eBay allowing us to, like, whether they open I mean, I'll go for a period of time where I'm getting no international sales, and then all of a sudden I'll get 2 or 3. So it's like they're turning the tap on and off for overseas. And you can't guarantee that that's on all the time.
No, and that's exactly right. Plus, you got all the other platforms you got over there as well, and the lower cost of living. So, if you're living in California, for example, then you're like, hey, well, I can't sustain my reselling from here because it's too expensive to live here. You can go live where Kevin lives, and like that really cheaper area to move from. Like pretty much in Australia, it's pretty expensive all across the board, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're pretty much screwed in that respect. And like I said, that's not to say that everyone won't make it, but a vast majority will. Won't make it. And like going onto Facebook groups, you can go onto a Facebook group now. Like if you're from the UK, if you're from America, if you're from Australia, go into your local reseller group, or your eBay group, and you will probably scroll down maybe 1 or 2 posts, and you will find, hey, look, I haven't had any sales on eBay, or how much can I sell this for, or is this authentic, and all these different things. Like I said before, if you want to authenticate someone or something, do not go to those groups. Go to dedicated groups on Reddit. Go to dedicated group on Facebook. That deals with that exclusively, because I could have a guess that, like I said before, is that I'll speak with some sort of authority. Then all of a sudden you take that, and then you're selling a $200 coffee cup with chips, and you think it's fantastic. You think it's the second coming of Christ. But anyway, that's enough of my diatribe today.
Oh dear, dear. Gosh.
We can't have nice things.
I do have to say that my stress levels have lowered substantially since I stopped going into those Facebook groups, because I was the same. I would go in there and answer questions and things because people were asking questions and needed help. But then, look, more often than not, if you were, there's a difference between criticism and constructive criticism. But you're trying to give constructive criticism, but they can't accept it.
Well, it's not even that. Like I said, that no one owns you anything, right? So, take it on face value. This guy, like, I know the comments in the comment section are going to be, is that this guy was just boasting about what he did. Fantastic, right? Yeah, I have no problem with that. Like I said, I was just in one of those moods. I was in one of those moods where I'm like, saying, hey, look, I'm happy for you. Didn't write that. However, you're potentially opening yourself up for more heartache down the track, right? Because you've basically missed. I'm not even a coffee cup collector, and I could see straight away what it is from that perspective. Like I said, that you really, if you buy something, and this is a collectible item, right? Not so much anymore, but if you sell these, if you pick it up from the op shop, maybe leave it for a day sitting on your desk, then go back to it with a fresh set of eyes when you're not as excited the next day, and look at it and go, oh, okay, well, I thought this one was a $200 one, but it's actually just the common one, which goes for $15. So you're not fooling yourself, or you're not fooling yourself into like a dopamine hit of what you've actually found. That you're thinking it's like infinitely better of what you're actually getting. If you need a dopamine hit, hit up me, and you can better not finish that sentence, it'll get demonetized.
Oh dear.
But what I'm saying is that, if you do buy things, you do get something like really phenomenal at the thrift store or the garage sale or something like that, put it in the garage for overnight, come back the next day when obviously all your blood sugar levels are gone back to normal. You're happy. You're not as elated as you are when you found the item. Then look at it from that perspective, because you will bring out the flaws. You will do all those different things. You'll be more of a better reseller.
Yes. And look, let's face it, you're buying used things. There's a reason they're called used, because someone has used them. And all right, some things may not have been used much, which is great, but everything, all that comes at a cost. And you've got to make sure what you put in your description, and that you take photos of those things. Like, I had a shirt the other day, and it's like brand new, which I'd say it probably is, but there is on the back, there's a discoloration in part of the fabric, which if you wore a little jacket over it, or a little vest over it, and it's a really nice shirt, good brand and all that sort of stuff. So I've listed it, but I've taken a really close-up photo of that, problem, because people need to know that that's there.
Yeah, and I think the best thing that I personally got out of that group that you mentioned a bit earlier is that take your photo. Just say if I haven't got a shirt on me. I'm wearing a shirt, but just say if you got this problem, right? Your first photo would be, the photo nice and close, all these different things. If you use photo room like I do, you do all those different things. But then you've got like a little discrepancy here, right? You got a little bit of a black smudge there. Your second photo should be the blemishes. Don't leave it to the last photo. So when someone opens up, go, hey, cool, I'm looking for a Michelangelo soda. Open it up. The second photo is basically saying, hey, look, this is the imperfections, all these different things. And pick the biggest imperfection. Don't choose, there's a little black smudge there. But if you open the character out, he's missing his head, and have that as the last photo or something along to that. So that's what you really need to do. And like I said, use these Facebook groups. If you're after a circle jerk and all these different things, and I know people are going to probably come after me for my language this one, but go find join a $34.99 monthly group, because that's pretty much where you're going to get that from, right? But if you are on a reselling group, you should be using that as a free resource to get better for your business. Like use that as an opportunity to ask people that, like, I'm not going to say myself or Grumpy Granny, but ask people that are more experienced in that realm. Like I said, because we and I've said before, we've walked away from those places. So people that do have knowledge in particular items, we're sick of people like talking over us, or like group think in that respect. And Geelong Flipper should know better. I'm sorry, Tori, but come on, mate. It's not a popularity contest. When you really, if you're after trying to improve people's businesses or their way of life, you should be really picking them up on those different things. So hey, look, it's fantastic. You bought that, but have a closer look of what you actually got listed. There's actually a couple of chips and stuff.
Maybe those people that were saying how good it was, maybe they were just trying to be saboteurs so that they could, talking down on price, then they could jump in, buy it, and then flip it for themselves.
Well, there's actually one that's currently running on auction at the moment for $85, and I'm keeping an eye on that because I'm going to buy it and flip it if it keeps around the same price. So, like I said, on Friday night, this is a bit of retail arbitrage, right? So this is what you should be looking out for. So this one here is in infinitely better color. Does that come up? Does that pop up screen?
Yes.
Yeah, there it does. So this one's better, right? So this one's currently... I've gone through this one. I'm pretty sure I didn't see any chips, or very minor chips in comparison, right? So if this one goes for, it's currently, I think it's $85 plus $10 postage or something like that.
You can even see it's gloss. You can even see it's still got its nice gloss on it, whereas the other one doesn't. Like it's
faded, that's right. Yeah, this one probably does have some imperfections, right? Well, it doesn't even look like it's got any.
No, it doesn't look like it's got any, but it's
Yeah, but what I would do is, further onto the topic we discussed on Friday night, this is eBay arbitrage or retail arbitrage, right? Realistically, if you go to a thrift shop and if you buy something, that's arbitrage, right? Like realistically, and I would, all these different things. So there's nothing stopping you to go on eBay. And I know a lot of YouTubers do. They go look for the things that they know back to front and snipe these different things off, and this guy, by pissing me off, has actually alerted me to another bolo now, which are these coffee cups, because someone might list them for $20, not knowing what they have, because they're just going, I'll put it on eBay for $20. I don't know how eBay works. I don't look at sold comps. I don't look at listings. I'll just put it on eBay under the magazines category, because that's what you do. Then, someone like me or someone else that, watches this channel will jump in, buy it, then put it back on eBay for $170, $180, $200, something like that. So, like I said,
look, Grumpy Granny's been known to buy the odd item mainly on auction, because if their listing price is low enough, because you have to take postage into account, of course. And I mean, I did get some, and I've kind of they're for personal use, I guess. I like to look at them on my bookshelf, and I may have priced them up extremely high on eBay. If someone gives me that money, they can go, but otherwise, I'm going to enjoy them as they are. Yes, because I got 3 books, and I was able to combine the postage all of the same person who had them all up for auction, and I was the only bidder. So, score me.
That's right. And you always look, and like I said before, with Dixon flannel shirts, right? I used to buy a lot of Dixon flannel shirts. I probably wouldn't recommend it now because it's kind of like got a bit soft. Always keep an eye on, if you are buying a product like Dixon, for example. Dixon is primarily, just say, maybe a level above a family business. There's someone that probably classes himself as a bit of a social media star that runs the business, right? He's gone off the rails a little bit.
Social media star, just like me.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that. I was thinking he probably is like you, self-professed social media star, right? But he's gone off the rails a little bit from what I can gather, right? So if you go into these Reddit groups and you go into Facebook groups that deal with this particular line, it's always saying, hey, look, Grumpy Granny's done this now, and they're always shaking their heads and stuff along this. So there's no real separation between what this person's done from a business perspective and his product, right? And because he's gone off the reservation and being a bit of an idiot, his product's suffering. So it's almost extensive, if you are doing your own brand label, you're doing all these different things. And going back to what this is saying as well, is that you really, really need to keep yourself a really clean image from that perspective. And, obviously, if you are going to inject yourself into your customers and become a stakeholder, they like that product because they like you by extension, then all of a sudden you start disagreeing with them or picking fights with them. I don't know the specifics, right? But that in itself has really dampened the Dixon line from what I've gathered.
Yes, it's nowhere near what it was, not even that long ago, really.
No, because like I said, I was using this eBay rabbit. I said it again. Retail arbitrage. Arbitrage. I always get caught on what one it is. But so retail arbitrage, I would buy it from the Australian store, then I would ship it over America and double my price, right? So literally, I would sell it as it's in transit. So I would make a 10-day postage time. So I would order it from Dixon, get it sent to me, and normally arrive in 5 days, then ship it out. And because it would arrive maybe a week before eBay says it would, everyone's happy. And like I said, I was making a little bit of money on pretty decent. But like I said, you really, really need to get into a niche like that and go from that perspective. But definitely do your research. Don't rely on people on Facebook groups. Don't rely on people telling you how fantastic you are and all these different things. If you are just promoting it and saying how fantastic it is, and they always need a Facebook group. I might even create a Facebook group just dedicated to people that want to have a circle jerk. Just saying how good I am and fantastic. Look at my item and all these different things. Almost like
I think too. One of the things that people do not probably do often enough is keep your eyes peeled. People that are doing reselling, and I don't think in a lot of categories, keep your eyes peeled and for what new movies or TV shows are coming out, because so many products are associated with those things. So regardless of whether it's a book, maybe there's a book that's, an older book that's been now turned into a TV series, that book's going to be now wanted. So keep your eyes peeled for that and what's coming up on the streaming services and, movies and stuff.
And I said the exact same thing a couple of weeks ago regarding Deadpool and Xbox and PlayStation 4, right? So the Deadpool game, you can only get it via a physical copy at this stage. Deadpool movie, it was probably going for about $100 before the Deadpool movie came out. Deadpool movie came out and went up to $250. So that's something you need to be very mindful of. And like I said, I had the copy probably about 12 months ago. I wasn't going to hold on it for 12 months just to make that extra $100 on it because I could probably flip it and do something else before then. But if you had found it in the op shop, you would have been perfect. So you need to trawl Facebook groups and all those different things to make sure you're getting all those different things. But before we wrap up, Granny, what do you got coming out this week?
So I'm probably going to be this week. There'll be just my usual lives that I'm doing with the Wednesday night with John. I do the 15-minute quickie with John, and then Thursday morning is my Reseller News one, and then there will be a drop of the book club recording, which is about how to sell vinyl records. That was a really good one that will be going up on my main channel. And there may be another one in there. I don't know yet if I'll get around to it. But I'll be putting a lot of energy and effort into my Let's Read Granny channel, because that has been going great guns. And so I've been I'm at the moment I'm making a techno version of Grumpy Granny Had a Farm. So that's something to look forward to, isn't it?
That's right. That's exactly right. So no, I'm glad that you're pursuing those, because like I said before, is that reselling is good and all those different things, but the audience is quite capped, right? But when you branch out into different things, you can get a bigger audience from that perspective. And like you said earlier, it's going to turn into another stream of income eventually. You'll have another thing to do. If eBay is slow, you just punch another couple of books out, and then you probably get more YouTube revenue further down the road. So, like I said, please, if you are reselling, I don't particularly care if you're doing it for shits and giggles, or you wanted to go full time further down the road. Reach out to either of us. Reach out to a full-time reseller that will actually probably get back to you. That's a swipe at someone that probably Tori and Graham know who I'm talking about. If you are looking at going full-time please speak to people that actually are full-time or have been full-time. Just don't fall into that group thing like that Facebook group where full-time's fantastic and all those different things. Get different perspective, all those different things. Let me know in the comment section below on my channel, Granny's channel, and the podcast channel, because we're releasing this 50th episode across all 3 channels. What your goal is for your reselling. It could be paying down debt. It could be paying, a family holiday, or putting your kids in private school, or you potentially want to invest, or you want to make another line of income. Or I don't particularly care what you want to do, but I'm quite curious to see if people have thought down that path. And let me know by all means if I was right or wrong. I'm kind of scared to ask this in my response to old mate. Like I said, that my personal stance is that these reselling groups aren't friend zones, right? They're not where you go to your pub and show people what, your kids' photos on your phone, all these different things. This should be treated as a business venture. It should be treated as like a networking opportunity, not so much like just to show people what you picked up and all those different things. By all means, you can ask questions about what pricing and all those different things after you've done your own research.
And look, I will say that if you're constantly putting up, oh, look, I got this, I got that, and you're not actually showing what you're selling, people do get a bit peeved off. And also, people get peeved off if you're constantly getting shown stuff all the time and you're not able to access any of that sort of stuff. They start to get a bit annoyed with that too, I think.
Yeah, and like I said, it kind of it kind of shows the maturity level of some people. It's like, hey, he hurt my feelings, so I'm going to block him. But I'm blocked from any communication from this guy in future, right? So realistically, and I don't, it might seem otherwise, but I don't particularly care. I'm getting over it, all right? I'm getting over it.
Yeah. You're not blocked from the group yet, though, are you?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I did say
despite my best efforts. But Brad Kane's the one of the moderators, so I'll just suck up.
Oh, you'll be right then. You'll be right. But,
but coming back to it is that if he asks a question about Skylanders, and there's only 2 people in that group that know Skylanders as well as I do, and he's blocked both of them. So you really shot yourself. That's right. But
shot himself in the foot there. Yes.
People learn because, like I said, that give it a week. I probably won't remember. I don't even remember the guy's name now. Like I keep thinking of David Norton for some reason, but I definitely know it's not David. but hey, David, how you going, mate? But like I said, that always challenge YouTubers, challenge anyone that puts out they sell this much, right? Like I said, that you can pretty much take my Flipwise figures as much as you can because I put everything in there. I don't give people a hard time unless they say, hey, look, I make $100,000 a year. Well, it's okay. Where's your figures to substantiate that? People like, Chris Furlong, people like, 2 Aussie Thrifters, they do a breakdown from that perspective, right? Yeah. And I'm quite content with that. Because I don't care one way or another if they're fudging their figures or not, because to me, it's a lot harder to fudge your figures than to actually report the proper ones.
It takes a lot of effort to do that,
Yeah, but other people like, Judder and Wayno and all these different things, they just keep quiet. They just say, hey, look, this is for me doing my own thing. And that's fine. Like I said, they're not, they might tell you what a bolo is and all these different things. That's fantastic. But they're not trying to push you down the path of making millions and millions and millions of dollars. So be very, very mindful of what people are actually telling you on YouTube, what people are telling you in Facebook groups, because they're just trying to, they're trying to impress imaginary friends. Look, that's what it really comes down to, imaginary
Except for if they're in Grumpy Granny's Discord channel, because that's really good. That's really good.
That's right.
Everybody's really nice in there, and they're all very helpful. So there you go.
That's right. Well, you guys link across there, and I'm pretty sure that Leanne will put the Discord link in the video description on her channel. I don't have it anymore. But anyway, I think we've had enough. But thank you very much for 50 episodes in the sink or down the drain, as you probably put. We have pissed a lot of people off over the period of those 50
even episodes. Some international people.
That's right. Well, I think we started with pissing off international people, but
we did.
But we've also made some phenomenal friendships. People that I actually speak to on a daily basis, like Blake. Big shout out to Blake from when his little stint there came in. Graham, a resident fanboy or otherwise.
Yes.
So like I said, I really appreciate all those people that watch and all those people that put up. Like I said, we pretty much run this show to be a bit of fun, a bit of banter, a bit of business, if you will, if you know where I'm going with this, Leanne.
Yes.
Actual banter though, like actual banter.
Yeah.
Actual banter though, because I don't know if they know the definition.
That's what this is.
I don't know if they know the definition of banter.
No, they don't know the definition. They don't know the definition of having a good sound in your out of your microphone either.
It's all fine. As much as I joke, but it does take a lot of effort to do this on YouTube. And look at our very first episodes; like we were still bad, and the ones I've just taken the piss out of there. They like got off there. Like Leanne may think different, but I think they are fantastic with how far they've come in a very short period of time. Because up to about maybe 3 episodes ago, I probably am pretty shit still, but they always came off the ground running pretty well in that respect. So,
although I will say, watching back some of the old episodes, there are some. We are funny sometimes. If nothing else, we can be entertaining.
That's right. We don't know what we're talking about. But anyway, before we cause any more international or
what about you,
domestic...
Minion Day? Well, apart from being, whipped by the octopus, what's Octo got on this week?
Well, he's making me work Thursday night because apparently he's going on a family holiday on Friday. So the drop shipping live will be on Thursday night. If you caught the retail arbitrage one, check that out if you haven't already. I did drop some, I suppose, bolos if you're in the States. I definitely think you want to be keeping an eye out for. The drop shipping one, I'll probably give you a bit of an idea on how to do some ethical drop shipping from that perspective as well. Doesn't necessarily align with what eBay says, but like I said, this is how people do it on that. So choose your own adventure. I don't particularly care. A lot of people use this kind of system in their own private websites, like through Shopify and all these different things. But like I said, I'll show you because there's been a lot of demand for that. Hey, show me how to drop ship. So I'm going to show you. I don't condone it. So if anything happens, please don't ask me. Anyway, I've had enough. We were supposed to finish half an hour ago, but we'll call it here. But we'll put the video up tonight, so it'll pretty much release on the Sunday on my channel about 8 o'clock, whenever Leanne puts it up on her channel, and then on the podcast channel on the Tuesday. But we will probably see you sometime through the week. But thank you again very much for tuning in and
putting up with us for 50 episodes.
That's exactly right. We've hopefully we've made as many friends as we're pissed off along the way. But anyway, on that note, we'll see you probably again next week. Maybe, I don't know. Well, it depends on what time I'm back on the Sunday. But anyway, we'll see you next time. Bye.